Welcome to the very special training today. This is Amit Ambegaonkar, business consultant and an award-winning author of the book Your Profound Success: 7 Powerful Ways to Skyrocket Your Business Using the Internet. I'm also an award-winning international best-selling author and certified success trainer and a professional speaker. Now, today I want to first of all thank you for opting into this particular training course. And this is a very short but very powerful training course. And what I'm going to share with you is I'm going to share you 5 very powerful strategies that are going to help you in your business, and they may even get you unstuck from some of the things that you have been holding back for so long, and it will just skyrocket your business. It will just take your business to a whole new level, and it will help you to get the results that you actually deserve. So I cannot wait to get started and share with you these powerful strategies. So if you would like, you can go to my website at yourprofounsolutions.com, because I have some amazing gifts for you there. I have my book, which I just mentioned, Your Profound Success. I have that for you for free. You can just go to that website and pick up that book, the physical copy for the book. I will mail it to you for free. Just cover the shipping and I will mail that book to you for free. And it has all information that I'm going to discuss with you today and much more. So let's get started. First of all, I want to talk to you about myself, business consultant. Why did I choose that profession? Why did I choose business consulting? Because what I identified is that you are an expert at what you do. You are really good at what you do. And then there is this client that needs your product and your services. Now, the fascinating part about this is that though the client needs your services, there is a very special method that first of all you need to reach this client that needs your product and your services, and secondly they need to understand what you're offering, what you're really selling to them, because if that does not get communicated to them, then you will see that there will be no sale and you cannot actually help the client. So when I identified that gap, I saw a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners are struggling with that. And that's when I decided that I really want to help business owners bridge that gap. And that's how I got into this particular profession of business consulting. And the number of success stories that I have after getting into this profession is just enormous. It's actually quite overwhelming. So today I'm going to get into some of the details of what the 5 strategies are. So I cannot wait to get into that. So the first thing I want to talk about is these 5 timeless business strategies. So why am I calling it timeless? Is because it's not that it can be used only as for a specific period of time. These strategies, this special training that I have for you, is actually at any period of time. It doesn't limit you to this particular year or next particular month. It does not. You can use these strategies that I'm going to share with you at any point of time in your career, and you will see that it will make a significant difference in your life and your business. So the question is, are you ready? Are you ready to get started? So wins. I want to tell you about wins. As you listen to this particular recording and as we go through the step-by-step 5 processes here, you will create wins. You will definitely create wins. And what my suggestion to you is you recognize them. You make it a point to recognize these wins. Don't let these wins just pass by, because you might think, that's nothing. I already knew that. Oh, that part is fine. It's not a big deal. Because what's happening is if you say that that's not a big win, it's not big enough, you will see that that's what you will continue to do in your life. Because if you don't validate the small little wins that you're getting, you will see that you will keep invalidating a number of wins that you will create. And it's a very powerful principle that I'm sharing with you, because throughout your life, if you keep invalidating those wins, the problem is not only that you're invalidating them, but you're stopping the next win from coming to you. So it's a very powerful concept, and I wanted to start with this introduction because some of these things that I'm going to discuss with you, you say, oh my God, I already know this. Why am I hearing this? But the important thing is now you hear that from a new viewpoint. And once you understand that you're hearing it from a new viewpoint, Now you can actually validate it because now your understanding is totally different. It's similar to have you had this experience where you read a particular book 2 years ago, and now when you read it, it's a different book. You're like, oh my god, now I get it what the author is saying. It's actually exactly the same. It's not that the book changed, but you are a different person. You are much more knowledgeable. You are much more cognizant of what's going on, and that's why that book seems different. And that's my suggestion to you during this course, that have that open mind and validate your wins. Now, if you do get these wins, your job is to validate them yourself. Don't wait for other people to validate it, because you need to validate it yourself first. And then you will see that as you go on, you keep doing that, automatically people around you will recognize that something about you is changing. And that will be a tipping point for you in your career. When you start to do so much validation for yourself, you start to do validation for others, because now if you understand this principle, you won't see bad in others. You will always see good in others, and that's how you will actually create more wins. So with that note, I want to get started. I want to get into the first principle that I'm going to discuss with you with business strategies. About the 5 business strategies I'm going to discuss with you are very, very powerful. Each strategy that I'm going to talk about, there could be a book written on each strategy, but I want to give you an overview, and I want you to do the application of that principle in your life. I want you to start to apply this principle, this strategy, because the moment you start applying, you're automatically going to start seeing the results. Okay, phenomenal. So the first strategy that I'm going to talk to you about is create. And you will recognize that your business, your life is actually all about creation. It is all about creation. If you really understand that everything that exists around you is actually your creation. It is not there by default. It is not just there because it was always there. The way to really change your viewpoint, the strategy to adopt, is that I am creating everything around me. Now, if this is too much of a gradient for you, if like, oh no, I cannot take responsibility of how did this show up in my life? How did this occur in my house? How did this happen in terms of my relationship? That's perfectly fine. What I would recommend is start with what you can assume responsibility for. You can say, you know what, oh no, I cannot take responsibility for my entire city. But yes, I can take responsibility of the room that I'm in. I can take responsibility of my bedroom in the house. I can take responsibility of my entire house. I can take responsibility of something in the house. Like that level of responsibility, that level of creation. If you can start doing that, and then you expand that area, hey, what about my house? What about the outside of my house? Now, can I say that, oh, I created that? And you will know that the more you get with that viewpoint, that everything around you is your creation, you will change. Because up till now, what was happening is, if you take this viewpoint that I'm not responsible for that, somebody else did it, what's happening is you're saying that person, that organization, that company is actually responsible for the success that I've had. But if you change that viewpoint and start assuming that everything around you is your creation, things will start to change. The fascinating thing about this is, the more responsibility you start taking, the more you start saying that I created that, you will see that things around you will change. It's a fascinating concept. It will totally blow your mind if you apply that. So let's talk in terms of application in business. If you start to take responsibility, if you say that I am going to actually create income in my business, I am the one that's going to create the income. So what can I offer my clients? How can I structure my business so that it helps other people? What can I do today so that I can create this particular concept in my business? Everything is about creation. And that's why I wanted to start with this first very, very powerful strategy of create. If you start to assume more responsibility, that's saying that you are the creator of your own universe, then you will see things will start changing for you. This is the first strategy of the course that I'm doing right now for you, in terms of 5 timeless strategies that you can adopt right now and see significant difference. So let's move on. Let's talk about the second strategy. The second strategy that I want to talk to you about is this phenomenal concept which applies, which is focus. And in this particular concept, you will understand that if you start to focus on a specific area of your life, you will see clarity in that. You will definitely start to see clarity in that area, because right now what's happening is the moment your attention gets distracted, the moment you start to see all other things that exist in your universe, then nothing is really clear. You don't have a clear sense of direction. But if you start to focus, if you really start to focus, and all the other things around you starts to get blurry, but the thing that you want to see start to get really, really clear, then you are focused. You're focused on that particular thing. And again, you can do it time wise. You can say, you know what, when I'm at work, these are my working hours, and I'm going to focus everything that I have, my attention on this thing and get it done. Now, after this time, that's my family time. So I need to focus on the family at that point of time. And you will see that all areas of your life, if you apply this principle, will start to go up. Right now, what's happening is if you are concentrating on one thing and if there is some distraction, your phone goes off, you suddenly get an email, somebody calls you, all these are distractions. So if you're working on a project, if you're working on writing an email, if you're working on sending a text and something around you happens, that's distraction for you. And believe it or not, but for you to get back to the task that you were doing before, it takes way longer than what you can imagine. So focus, focus, focus. If you can focus your attention on the result that you really want, you will see significant changes. And again, application point of view, don't start that, oh, I want to focus about everything in my life. Again, that's not the real purpose. But can you focus, let's say for example, for the next 15 minutes. Next 15 minutes, can you focus on one specific thing? Right at the beginning of the day, you say, this is what I'm going to focus. The first 15 minutes of my day, I am going to just create maybe a video. I'm just going to check my emails and that's it. I'm not going to get distracted with social media. I'm not going to be distracted with checking text messages. I'm not getting distracted by someone calling me. I am going to devote this time to focusing on creating content, on replying to emails, on replying to these messages, whatever you decide. But the focus is the key. Time is quite related to focus, because if you time it right, see, if you allocate a specific time, then you will find that your focus actually gets better. And the task that you think would have taken 4 hours will actually be done in 3, and magic will happen. Okay, magic will happen. The secret is you might complete it in about half the time. So you will actually have a lot of time to do other things, because multitasking is actually a myth. Multitasking is actually a myth. No one succeeds with multitasking. If you do one task at a time and do it well, get it done with, then move on to the other one, you will see that you will make significant improvements in your life and business. That's the second principle. Now, the third principle, I think you already saw the third principle while we were strolling with the slides, but here it is. The next principle that I want to talk about is help. And this is really, really an important principle about help. Now, why am I talking about help in business? Because all business is about is helping your client. Your business is about helping your client. In other words, if you do not have a business that truly helps, you actually don't have a business. You don't have a business. So if your business is truly about helping your client, getting them the result that they want, that's the time you're going to see a significant improvement in your business. So if you really focus on what am I helping with? What problem is my business solving? That's the key question to ask yourself. What problem is my business solving? Because remember, what is business? Business is actually solutions to the problems that people have. So if people don't have problems, then you don't have a business. Or if you don't have a solution to their problems, then you don't have a business. But if you do have a solution and you recognize the problem and you are somehow able to get these together, then boom, you will have a phenomenal business to grow, to expand, and to just help more and more people. So the important structure, the important word to understand here is help. You really need to help people with your product and your services. Now, the next strategy that I'm going to talk about is slightly different, and it is really an important strategy to understand, because first, when you look at the strategy, you may not really get the importance of it. But I want you to have an open mind and listen to what I have to share with you. I want to ask you, we've covered 3 strategies so far, and I'm sure that probably you're taking some notes, probably you're already thinking about how you can apply these strategies in your business. Because believe me, if you start to apply these principles, not because I'm saying it, but because they are true for you, you recognize that if you're able to focus on one thing at a time, you know that things will get done much faster. But now, with this new level of awareness that you just created in the last 15 minutes, now you recognize that, oh my God, that's so true. If I can do that thing, just one thing at a time, then I can get so much done. I'll give you a simple example. When I do a lot of presentations, I do a lot of seminars and trainings, and I recently covered an entire course. I did a 6-week course recently, and the way I dealt with it is I had total focus. Like, I sat down for it was 3 hours, 4 hours, and then again 6 hours or something. But I sat down those hours without any distraction, and I got that done. So before this whole event started, I actually had everything for that course ready to go. It was not like the course is tomorrow and then I'm sitting tonight and getting stuff done. It was already completed before I started with the training. That's the beauty of focus. So if you can start to focus, if you can really start to have this concept of help in mind, and you put them together, you have a phenomenal concept, phenomenal strategy that you can truly help your clients. Now, the 4th strategy that I'm talking about, the 4th strategy I'm talking about is actually this concept, which is, heard about that word, for sure you've heard about this word, but let's really look at it. The word is exchange. Exchange. What am I talking about? When I'm talking about this strategy, you understand that there needs to be an exchange in business. Now, if you buy something, you understand that you pay for something and you get something in return. That's an exchange. Now, the problem with exchange is you will see that some people want your product or want services from you and want this and want this. Many of them, you will also see they want your products and your services for free. Have you heard that? Have you had any client asking, oh, why do you charge for the services that you offer? I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense. Why would you charge someone for your services? I mean, this should be free. Have you heard that before? I have heard that a lot of times. And there is not the problem with that person. That's actually not the problem. But the problem is they don't understand the concept of exchange. The exchange is a very powerful concept, because there has to be a give and take. There has to be a give and take, because if you understand the whole concept of give and take, if you understand this concept of exchange, you will know that any client that you help needs to pay you. Any client that you help needs to pay you, because if they take away something from you and they don't give you anything in return, you're actually causing damage to both parties. You are causing damage to both parties. You're causing damage to that person, because now that person took something from you and did not give you anything in return. So there is an imbalance between you and this person. So this person is actually going to do something wrong. Believe it or not, this is a crazy concept. But this person is actually going to do something wrong, something that will hurt either you or someone else, because of this imbalance that exists. And to give you a real life example, just to make it real for you, have you had this experience sometimes when if it was a really good friend, you gave, and this person did not care or did something actually to hurt you? And you're like, oh my God, what's happening? I did so much for this guy. I did so much for this friend of mine. I did so much for my in-laws, my brothers, my sister-in-law, like whoever yours in your scenario, whoever is that person. The problem is not that you did too much. The problem is you did so much for them, but did not ask for an exchange. So this person that you helped and you helped and you helped, now is totally under pressure to give you back something. But if you don't accept it, if you say, no, 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 I'm okay, I'm just going to keep helping you, suddenly there is an imbalance, and that imbalance, it has to come out as some kind of an imbalance that tips the scale towards you. Okay, so it's really an important concept to understand that if you have this imbalance between you and a client, you and your friend, you and your children, you and your spouse, you need to figure out a way so that this imbalance does not create it. You ask for an exchange. Now, when I'm talking about exchange, I'm not just talking about money. I'm not just saying that, oh, you know what, if somebody does for you, then ask for money. It doesn't have to be money. It can be anything that they can do for you. It can be anything. It can be something, it can be an act, it could be just a smile that you expect. You do something for them and they smile, or they say, thank you, oh my God, Amit, what you did for me was phenomenal. It has helped me so much in my life. Well, that was an exchange that you wanted and you got it. So it doesn't have to be always money. Don't have this concept that for everything you do you should ask for money. That's not the idea. The idea is you need to have an exchange. The exchange might be a hug from that person, the thank you that is deeply, deeply felt in this person's heart, and she or he is expressing it towards you. That's an exchange. Sometimes these exchanges are way more than the person paying you, right? Does that make sense to you? And you will see that as long as there is an exchange, you are good, and the person that is giving you back is also good. So help is a very, very important thing that you need to understand. It has to be incorporated in your business in such a way that both parties are happy with the exchange. So even your kids, it's the same thing. If you just keep giving to the kid is going to actually do something that is not good for them and not good for you. So you have to have an exchange. You do something for the kid, and the kid has to do something for you in return. And again, it could be the kisses that they give you, it could be the hugs that they give you, or they come and meet you in the morning, like whatever you decide. But that exchange needs to be there, and it needs to be communicated. A really, really powerful concept. Out of the 5 strategies, principles that I'm sharing with you, if you understand this concept of exchange right here, it will change the game for you. It will totally, totally change the game for you. Good. So now that you understand this important concept of exchange, and here is the concept of exchange. If I show you this, I'm sure it will grab your attention, and you will pay attention to this concept of exchange. Anyway, I'm just kidding. But now that you understand the concept of exchange, that it's not just about money, actually, it could be anything, you will have a significant change in how you think about exchange and how you act about exchange. So let me go to the last principle here. The last strategy in business that you can start to look at is the principle of higher purpose. If you have a strategy in business, if you have something that you're doing in your business, but if it does not have a higher purpose, a bigger than you purpose, then you will see your business will actually struggle. You will not attain the level of I would say the level of success that you want to achieve in business if it doesn't have a higher purpose. It could be anything from donating to a charity, helping some individuals, getting them food, getting them shelter. It could be even as simple as providing someone with a donation at the end of the year. Like, doesn't have to be that extensive, doesn't have to be, quite heartbreaking for you. It doesn't have to be effortful for you. Just doesn't have to be, but it needs to have some purpose. It needs to have a much higher purpose in terms of your business, why you want to grow this business. And this is one of the things that I highly, highly recommend. And the reason for that is because it takes you out of the business and start to look at it from an exterior viewpoint. Like, what is this business really here to do? Because now you're not working inside the business anymore. You're now looking at it from an external viewpoint. So now it already has a higher purpose. How can you make this business successful so that it meets the higher purpose that you have in mind? It could be supporting a school, it could be building schools, it could be giving vision, it could be helping handicapped people, it could be anything, but it could be something that achieves the higher purpose. That is the 5th strategy, and I know that this is one of the most powerful strategy. So again, the 5 things that we discussed, the higher purpose is one of the most important principle, the most important strategy that you must have in place. Do you agree to this? Because only if you agree to this, you will actually follow through and take some actions on these 5 strategies. So this is the 5 strategies I want to talk about. These are all discussed right here in this video. This is about the mini course that I wanted to offer you. Though it's mini, don't think that this is not important. This is actually the key to understand. Now, how do you apply these principles? How do you actually create? How do you focus? How do you help? How do you exchange? How do you meet the higher purpose in your business? That's a whole different science behind it. There is a whole mechanics behind it. And as you watch more videos from me, or as you join me in one of my trainings, we will be handling every aspect of these 5 strategies. But this at least starts to give you an overview so that you can start applying them in your life and your business. So create, focus, help, exchange, and higher purpose. These are the 5 strategies that will truly make a difference in your business. If you would like more information, head on to my website, yourprofoundsolutions.com. Again, my name is Amit Ambegaonkar. I'm a business consultant. My specialty is strategy. So I give you an exact roadmap to take you from where you are right now to what you want to truly achieve in your life. This is Amit Ambegaonkar, and this was a special course that I did just for you. It was enhancing the life that you have, taking your business to a totally new level using these 5 most powerful strategies that will totally change the game for you. Thank you for listening in. Head on to my website, yourprofoundsolutions.com, and don't stop before you actually succeed. Never give up before you succeed, because the value that you bring into this world is so gigantic that it needs to be communicated. It needs to be heard, and your services, your products, your help is required today more than ever. Thank you so much for listening in. I have a lot more goodies for you. I have many more goodies for you on my website, yourprofoundsolutions.com. Make sure that you grab them. Make sure you download an ebook. Make sure you sign up for my newsletter, because I send out so much amazing information for you, because I know that you want to help a lot of people, and you can help a lot of people. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. Create a great day.